Hey, thank you very much for inviting me to be here today at the school. This is really exciting for me. I've spent the last 2-3 days all over this incredible community and in the wilderness surrounding Kanab. It's amazing. You know, I've never seen the Grand Canyon before. I've been to a lot of places, but I've never seen the Grand Canyon. And the coolest thing was how we approached it. Because we were driving out in the truck. Terrell, my new friend Terrell, is driving us out in this truck, and it's flat. And I'm like, so what's the big deal? I don't see anything. There's no canyon, there's nothing. It's just flat. All the mountains in the distance were beautiful. No canyon, right? And then we keep driving, then we get out of the trucks, and then we walk over to this edge, and then the earth opens up into this giant chasm. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. It was so amazing seeing the Grand Canyon for the first time, and I've been on 6 of 7 continents, as you'll soon see. And for me, it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. Now I get around to a lot of places on my feet because I'm an ultramarathon runner. What that means is I run really long distances in incredible places like Kanab. Now I'm here visiting Kanab, of course, because we are proposing a race called the Grand to Grand Ultra with friends of ours, Colin and Tess, and we came to see parts of the course and I had no idea how beautiful it was going to be and the friends that we would make once we got here to the community. So we go running all over the place and we're experiencing parts of the course that people from all over the world that will visit Kanab and learn and see and be as pumped up about what they see and experience in doing this race. But I thought today, I was putting my deck together of slides this morning, I thought, what am I going to talk about? Because this audience is probably living in this amazing place, seen it all. And I thought maybe I could compile some photographs and videos from the adventures and from the things that we're doing with youth, with young people your age, and tie it all together. So is that cool? Yes? Are you sure? Okay. Alright, so let's define what an ultramarathon runner is. An ultramarathon is any distance of running greater than a marathon. 26 miles is a marathon. Anything over that is considered an ultramarathon. The ultramarathons that I prefer to do, I run across countries and sometimes across entire continents. So on my own 2 feet, I've been able to experience various parts of the world. Some of them extreme. This photograph, of course, is of a thermometer. And it was taken last year in Death Valley, California, when a friend of mine and I ran from the north park boundary all the way to the south park boundary, completely off-road. I can't remember how far it was, but in the four days that it took us to run, I drank the equivalent of 96 liters, 96 bottles of Gatorade. That's a lot of Gatorade, let me tell you. It's like twice my weight in Gatorade. And sometimes in the extreme heat, it's not just the temperatures and the sand and the deserts that can make ultramarathoning very difficult, it's the physical aspects. Check out this video.
Well, it's the start of day, I think we're on day 7. And another great day. Yesterday got 70K in, 40 miles. But I've been nursing a blister while in it. This is what it looks like. So check this out.
Oh, isn't that horrible? You know? Go through the territory though. If you're going to run in extreme places, extreme things happen, right? And it's not just the hot places that I've been to. Believe it or not, I've been to some of the coldest places on the planet. This is what running in Siberia looks like, right? So in that sled is all of the equipment, all of the camping supplies, and the food that I would need to survive. The entire time I was self-sufficient. And speaking about being self-sufficient in cold places, a couple of years ago, my buddies and I had an idea that we could start at the ocean and trek all the way to the South Pole. The geographic South Pole. It's a long way to go. And you know what? It's the most remote place on Earth. Yet when you arrive there, there's a sign indicating, for real, that you've arrived at the South Pole. And that is the actual South Pole, with the gold ball on top. And even more interesting is that the South Pole itself moves each year. Somebody walks out there, picks up the South Pole, pulls it out of the ground, and then moves it, because of course the poles are 23 hours and 55 minutes. That's how long it took us to go all the way from the ocean to 10,000 feet of elevation at the South Pole. Now we arrived there with all of our supplies that we had dragged in a sled, this time 200 pounds of gear and food and everything we needed to live in this climate that was minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit every single day. So you're camping out there on the ice, you're eating on the ice, and you're crossing crevasses, which sometimes are no longer on the ice because they break through. But in our sleds, this is the most interesting part of the expedition, was equipment that enabled us to communicate our expedition to thousands of our teammates in classrooms all over the world. So picture this. We're trekking to the South Pole, we're going uphill, the wind is in our faces, and we're thinking about what our conversation is going to be that evening with our teammates in classrooms all over the world. Those students in classrooms are asking us questions, and we're finding out the answers day to day. Now, I'm very fortunate. I get to go all over the world and do these things that you're seeing some photos and videos so far of, right? Running really long distances, amazing places like Canada. But imagine, this is what I'm most passionate about. Being 16 years old or 17 years old and doing what I do, right? Wearing the boots and dragging the sleds and crossing the deserts. Check this out. They're going to push beyond any perceived limits they've ever thought they've had. They're going to challenge themselves like never before. Successfulness will be measured by what you walk away saying, wow, I can't believe I learned that about myself. This is one of the most incredible things that we've ever experienced in your life. So in my job as adventurer, the accomplishment that I'm most proud of is that I am the founder, along with my best friend Bob here, co-founder of a non-profit organization called Impossible to Possible. And our whole idea, and I probably get it from the name of the organization, is to impart on young people that in fact what we think is impossible is possible. And we live the 3 words, to inspire, educate, and empower young people all over the globe. And how are we going to do it? With adventure, because that's what we know, and running. The video you just saw that played was a video of 5 youth ambassadors. That's what we call the selected youth that come on our expeditions. 5 youth between the ages 17 and 21 who ran across the Bolivian Altiplano. That's salt. The Bolivian Altiplano, the highest and flattest place on Earth if you combine those 2 things together. And they ran the equivalent of 20 miles per day for their entire expedition, 7 days, at between 11,000 and 15,000 feet of altitude. That's pretty cool, right? Be able to do that, to push yourself, to challenge yourself, and experience and learn new things about yourself is an amazing thing. But wouldn't it be even more incredible if you could share what you were learning? And maybe not only about yourself, but about your world. Each expedition that we do, including this one to Bolivia, our organization takes an educational program or an idea, and they combine it to the expedition. So in the case of going to Bolivia, we said, let's talk about chemistry. Because there is no doubt that as these youth run higher and higher, their bodies are going to go through a biochemical change. They're dehydrating. They're changing. But so too, running on this salt flat, can we learn things about chemistry? Because salt is a basic element that can be used. So, our education team, headed up by this man on the left-hand side, broadcasted into classrooms, live, using that satellite system that we have, chemistry experiments, using the salt from the altiplano, but also talked about how the youth ambassadors were changing as they made their way physically. Were they getting stronger? Were they getting weaker? Was the sodium up or down in their blood? And to be honest with you, I thought chemistry was going to be the lamest subject on earth.